I'm Jouko Ahvenainen. I'm originally from Finland, but I have been around the world over 25 years in Asia, US, UK. Nowadays live in Monaco. My story is...
All right, guys, this is the last panel. Please bring your full attention. Adam, everyone else, please listen to the front. Just give us your full attention for right now. This is the last panel. We love these people. All right. Go.
And I have especially worked with my own company, so that I have started a few tech companies, especially in the software area, data analytics, AI, and so on, so that it has been my life the last 25 years. And nowadays I have done also quite a lot of investments in the tech company area in Europe, in the US, and also in Asia.
Fantastic. Please, sir.
Serhat, Cicekoglu. I'm a deep tech venture capital investor, a bit of an odd one. I finance advanced manufacturing factories to commercialize innovation around the world. Have 56 investments across 24 countries, based in Chicago and Los Angeles.
Amazing, please.
I'm Ron Chandiramani, Group President of Midas International Groups, headquartered in Dubai. We are diversified. They call us a diversified conglomerate. I don't exactly know what that big word means, but it means that we stand on more than one leg. We do a lot of investments, and we create our own entities. The most recent one is Harley Wellness Dollar. The name Harley sounds familiar. It's Harley Street Health. The world comes to Harley Street for health. We have already launched our Harley Wellness Dollar. It's a token, and we are looking into health, wellness, and lifestyle. As we speak here, it is a $20 trillion industry per annum. Wow. And we have, I won't call the numbers that I'm the co-founder, or how much I own into it, but just to put it in perspective, just 2% of that in 2 years, that's our target, is going to equate to $544 billion US. And if we look at 544 billion, it's only 2%, but if we go 4% or we take a bit longer, you will cross 1 trillion. That's what Harley Wellness Dollar is. To put it in perspective, Apple took how many years and what they did to reach 1 trillion. We are moving, by His grace, at cosmic speed. Cosmic thinking, cosmic speed, no cosmic efforts, because He does all the efforts. And if we go down back into history, we have a few prolific books. One of them is the Chinese book, the Tao Te Ching. And in the Tao, it says, the Tao does nothing, but leaves nothing undone. And also...
Wait, sir. This is just a brief intro, so we're going to go deep in a minute.
Perfect.
Backstory, you said?
Yeah, the 1 minute backstory.
1 minute backstory, all right. So as most of you can probably guess by looking at me, I'm proudly African. Okay. Born and bred in Kenya.
That was irony, right?
Yes, it was, forgive me, British education. It doesn't always go down well. But
it went down well. I just needed a chaser. Okay, go ahead.
Born and bred in Kenya. Followed the ideal model of success, left, went to the UK, studied at the London School of Economics, did my bachelor's and master's there, various gigs in consulting, ended up doing venture capital investing in early stage businesses in tech in the mid to late 90s, saw the whole dot-com boom and bust. Realized very early on, and this is around 2004, that I needed to be doing more for where it is that I was born. Moved back to Kenya, got involved with the early stages of the nascent and developing private equity venture capital industry there, and have been deploying capital across the continent for the last 20-something years. Represent the interests today of primarily the princely family of Liechtenstein, but several other family offices where I oversee and manage their investments across Africa.
Fantastic. Okay, lovely panel. Thank you. We'll give a round of applause for that. Come on, it's last panel. High energy. Guys, this is not where the energy drops. This is where you got Gordon on stage and you got a fantastic panel. So, okay, we're promised. Let's see if they can deliver on the secret proprietary investment ideas. Let's kind of work our way in. Thank you for the brief intro. Let's say more about your investment philosophy. How did it originate? How has it evolved? And what do you see going forward over the next several years? The world is changing fast.
Yeah, I think that it is extremely difficult question in that way that that if there would be easy answers, I think that everybody would follow them. But I think that it is also that everybody must find his or her own way. That what is important for yourself, and also I would say that it's anyway important that you understand also what you are doing. Of course, it's nice to follow your passion, but there are a lot of things that it's good that you know exactly what you are doing. And for example, I have been especially in the tech area, and I try to understand the technologies I'm investing and I'm working, but at the same time, it's always try to find something unique. One, what I always say to my company is that try to do something that is two-thirds something old, so that people know what is it, how to use it, and what is the value of that. And then have 1/3 something totally unique. So like new dimension, for example, for the existing model or something like that. Because typically if you try to do too much only new, no one understands what is it, how to utilize it, and so on. And if you only try to do the same things other people are doing, it doesn't work either. So that you must find the combination that people understand it, but it can offer also new unique value.
And now let me stay with you for a minute. So applying that philosophy of following your passion and where you have knowledge, good combination. You know, you don't want to fly blind. What is your number one or number two most favorite or involved investments for yourself right now? What are you most excited about?
Yeah, there are a couple of companies. One is this Prifina mentioned here, and it's very much working with the AI. But the unique part is that it is AI for each individual, so that any of you can create your own AI. We call it AI twin, so that you can use your own data, you control your own data, so that it is not to give data to somebody else, but you can really have also like personal AI. Then another example is a company called Mission Gray. It's actually we call it external intelligence company, so that it helps businesses to understand what's going on in the world, in geopolitics, politics, regulation, and so on. And you know that the world is very complex at the moment, so that that technology can offer also much better tools that you can understand what's going on in the world and how you can navigate better in your life, but also in your business.
All right, so let me ask you maybe a neophyte or 5-year-old question. An AI being trained with your own data, okay, so that's kind of a replica of you in some ways. What is an AI that's trained on you able to tell you?
There are many things that, of course, I think that most of you have used now AI. And the fact is that you get very general answers, so that if you go to ask something and I go to ask something, we get very similar answer. But if it has been trained, for example, with my personal data, so that I have told what I'm interested, articles I have written, I have updated it with my social media post, basically collected all kinds of knowledge I have, so that it is much more based on my knowledge, it is much more my tone. And then one very simple thing is that it can have even better memory than myself, so that it can have my memory, and I can ask, for example, after 5 years, that what I was speaking here.
Good answer. Okay, so Serhat, let me come to you. So you're secret and proprietary. I don't know if that's even possible, but what is your investment philosophy? And I'm specifically interested in the evolution of it. Where did you start? What's present? And of course, the world is changing so fast, and everyone's trying to wonder where to allocate their assets, how to even protect their assets. Where are you in this game?
So my investment philosophy is driven by the concept of food is medicine. There's something called rule of 3. Which stands for human beings can only survive 3 minutes without oxygen, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. Everything else is optional. Your clothes, your home, your cars, whatever you can think of. So Food is Medicine stands for providing nutritious food to 10 billion people within 25 years that's grown sustainably and provided affordably. Sounds very lofty, sounds very challenging, almost impossible. But there are ways by which we can actually make that happen. One is making energy affordable for farmers, for food value chain. And that's investing in energy transition. The second is replacing chemicals like fertilizers, pesticides with biodegradable biological solutions, and providing automation to farming industry, because farmers are aging, nobody wants to do farming, somebody has to do farming so we can eat, and that requires investments in robotics and energy, etc. Lastly, we are trying to invest in things that are causing a lot of waste. So upcycling is a big thing that we do. How did it evolve? It started investing in deep tech startups in 2018. I actually am a VC since 2009, started as a corporate venture capitalist, evolved into privately doing this. And deep tech startups have two valleys of that. Unlike
I'm sorry, just to be clear, deep tech?
Yes, deep tech.
Okay.
Deep techs, advanced research-based technologies, another way to think about it, have two values of that compared to every other startup that you can think of. And that's when they need to commercialize their solution at scale. That means first of a kind factory. So what I do today is I finance those factories so that the innovation can be commercialized, and I do that with co-investors like family offices, corporations. So I'm not raising a fund, to be clear, but I do actually work with families to build those factories around the world. So that's the other thing. That's the other evolution. Not focused on a single geography, but providing the technology solutions at scale to multiple geographies so that everybody can access to that solution. It's providing a good thing at abundance. One final sentence. Every one of you have a smartphone here, right? It's either an iPhone or a Samsung. And if you have $1 billion more in your pocket, you're not going to get another phone. There is no better phone that you can find. One of those two. That's the abundance of the solution that you have. Your wealth doesn't matter. And whether you're wealthy or average income, you have that benefit. And that's what I want to do with food. Good food, nutritious food, environmentally, sustainably produced, and affordably available.
Okay, now I'm going to stay with you for a second. So that's your model, and I get it, but your investment thesis,
Yes.
kind of frame it a little bit in that.
Sure.
Short version.
So the secret sauce is making factory investments very low risk, very high velocity implementations with high and fast returns within 4 to 5 years most. And this can be done by providing the entire finance of a factory that's needed so that we can build a factory in less than 2 years, in revenue year 3, and that can be accomplished by working with equity investors as collateral providers. And that is a high return investment model because the leverage is on the table already and the equity has very low risk to take. So this is a new form of making late stage venture capital investments with secondaries and IPO and other strategic exits very plausible. In the industrial world, exits don't happen mostly through IPO. They mostly happen through strategic exits, which usually happen in a premium. So I'll stop there. Happy to talk more after this session.
Very interesting. Okay, Ron, now back to you. And I think you were on Tai Chi. So I want you to talk about how your investment philosophy has evolved over time, also a little bit of future perspective. But I love the Tai Chi reference you were dropping in there, so kind of bring that into it.
We start with first knowing what causes disease, and that is bad intake. Food, with pesticides, chemicals, and fertilizers and all that, that leads to disease. Disease, not disease. We have created, and it's up and running, we have a $20 million facility, profitable. Our profit range is 80%. We have it in the UK and England, just 1 hour out of London. It is called Invertigrow. It's indoor cubes that we have created from seed to finished product. Inverti-wall, most of the restaurants will start with London and Dubai, I can call a name, Sexy Fish. Who doesn't know sexy fish? All across the planet, each of these top-notch restaurants will show you this is what your salad is going to be made from. And if you want to help us, take your plate and go and pluck it. That's in vertigo, growing the right food to start to nourish the body. Then we come to the next one. There is prevention of falling sick, preventive, rather than simply, it's easier to stay out of trouble than to get out of trouble. When you are sick, you are in trouble. Prevent it, don't get into trouble. For that, we have in Harley Street, we have a 5-story, we just bought it. Wellness, Harley Street, for that we have created a token and launched. And I spoke about that, I don't want to repeat it, but we are looking at a $20 trillion per annum industry. And only the health and wellness, last year, the global health and wellness was $5 trillion. We are 6 months down the road and we've reached 7, which means in 6 months, $2 trillion increase. So we are on track and on the spot. We have other things as well. We have 3 lots of land in pristine, lush green Kerala, and they call Kerala God's own country. We have the land, we own it, freehold. We have all the government permissions. I have everything. Health, wellness, education, tourism.
Let me ask you, I live in Dubai. I'm not from Dubai. I was about to say from.
I do.
But Kerala keeps on coming up in conversation now. It just started happening the last few months. I mean, obviously, you know, it's like a car. You never hear about it, and then you see it, and then all of a sudden it's everywhere. Why does Kerala keep on coming up in conversation? What's amazing about Kerala?
Kerala is the southern state in India. India today is the largest population on the planet. Everybody goes to the traditional Ayurveda yoga. That's where health originates from, not big pharma. And I have nothing against big pharma, but you have your own choice to make. You want to go the big pharma route or you want to go the traditional route. The traditional route brings you to the root of our existence, where health is a natural, it's a given. Big pharma is mostly when it's too late. It's a last resort. I don't want to call names here, but I have been personally involved with people who we knew they are going there, they are not coming back. I'm not talking of COVID, I'm talking way bigger. It's like cancer. I won't call the name. Those who know. 96 billion profit per year, one institute from cancer.
So just, I'll give another minute on your topic. So taking a forward look, 2, 3, 5 years out, what are the uncertainties in your model and how are you kind of factoring them in?
The model is we are building the prototype model built on empathy and compassion. Why empathy? Because the poor also have a right to the same treatment. So the rich will, when they are afflicted with the disease, only then they understand what sickness and disease means. When they get well, they will lavishly invest or donate. With that, with all the income from that, all the poor will get treated free. That is the 2 legs we stand on, empathy and compassion. And for that, we have the land. And now, this is the model, a prototype, like the first McDonald's came about. This is the same concept. It's going to be a global franchise. We will roll it out wherever there are human beings. Where there are human beings, there is ease and disease.
Interesting that you're talking about health and also McDonald's.
Absolutely. So.
Interesting. Okay, my African friend. I'm playing off your sense of humor. I'm trying to. Okay, go ahead. Do you want me to restate the question?
If you wouldn't mind.
Okay, so you give a fascinating bio, especially how you went to LSE and I guess your focus is on Africa as a VC and you're sort of globetrotting this way. It's fascinating. You kind of brought it home. But I want to sort of get a time-lapse version of your investment philosophy, what it was, what it's evolved to now, but I want you to kind of factor in there what you're seeing or what you're concerned with or how you're adapting over the next several years, because so much is changing in the world, and you have a nimble mind. What do you see the question? Like what's the progression, and then where's the deltas going forward?
I do. In fact, let me answer it by giving you an example of one of the investments we made and related to something that Serhat raised. So Serhat basically asked folks over here, what phone is it that you have in your pocket? It's an iPhone or it's a Samsung. In Africa, people don't necessarily have phones in their pocket. But they need them because phones are an opportunity for being able to be economically productive. And so we invested in a company that basically provides the ability for people to put a small deposit down on a smartphone and then pay off the phone on a daily basis over a period of around 18 months, where they're actually paying a small amount daily. The amount that they're paying is covered by the economic productivity and outcome that they get from the phone. Sounds very cool. Just to give you a sense of the scale of this business, it's now in 5 countries. It's over $400 million in revenue, roughly $50 million in EBITDA. It's recognized as one of the fastest growing fintechs in Africa today, and will likely be hitting a unicorn valuation in the next few months or so. I say this just to talk about where the opportunity is in Africa. Africa sits at the confluence of some of the fastest growing economies, the youngest population in the world, innovation. Way before Venmo was a glint in anyone's eye, we were using mobile money in Kenya. I can't remember the last time I actually carried cash. A population that is aspirational, dignified. Many people see Africa as like resources elite and a whole bunch of poor people. Actually, no, there's...
I think that's a little dated.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. In a room like this, it is, but in many places where I engage with people, it's not. And there is a middle income and low middle income population that is dignified, that wants to pay for products and services, but they need these products and services configured in a way that they can afford them. So they've got thin wallets that are affected by what's happening generally, but they're aspirational. And this confluence of technology, mobile telephony, young population, aspirational, and innovation around products and services that you can build to address them, that's the place that I sit. That's the sort of investments that we make. And it's not a market that most people recognize. Frankly, if you want to make a ton of money, and from the various panels that I've listened to, then you're maybe best served by investing in an Elon Musk funded robot that has AI helping provide security for a air-gap Bitcoin wallet, you know, from everything it is that I've heard.
You just strung together a whole bunch of things.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, got it.
If you're looking at investing in Africa where you can do good and do well at the same time, that for us is the area that, for me, my personal passion. How is it that we can actually look at what's really fundamentally happening on the ground and provide modern technology and capital to help support, grow, and accelerate it? And with the outcomes that we're seeing, like the one I described to you for that business, that model is actually working.
We're out of time, and I got the T sign, but let me do a quick follow-up with you. I mean, one of the big stories of this decade, and I think it's only getting bigger, is the Chinese involvement with Africa and vice versa. I guess China just waived all of its tariffs from Africa. Does that squeeze us out? Is that providing a nice playing field for us to come in also? Is it like the fire over the... Does it affect what you're doing? Does it facilitate it, or what's the story?
It actually, so firstly, there's a narrative globally. Unfortunately, I'll just touch on this a little bit from an African perspective, that Chinese involvement in anything is bad. Actually, that's not the case.
Sorry, and to be clear, I wasn't implying that, but I'm implying
Sure.
they have a heavy presence.
Exactly. So I'm coming to that. So what is the Chinese presence in Africa? The Chinese presence in Africa is actually building out an infrastructure. What China's been doing is essentially saying, hey, there's going to be a market of consumers. They've been smart enough to recognize where these consumers are that will want the products it is that we are very, very able to manufacture. And they've been building out a Belt and Road initiative that has, for example, in Nairobi, included what is now a highway from the airport, an elevated highway from the airport into Nairobi that has turned what was a 3-hour drive into 15 minutes. All the American entrepreneurs that have come in and set up businesses in Kenya, tech entrepreneurs, are benefiting from this highway. That's the best example that I can give you. So a Chinese highway helps American entrepreneurs become a damn sight more efficient in Nairobi today.
Nice answer. Okay, I got to call time. Amazing panel. Thank you so much. Good finale. Big round of applause.